Hello everyone, welcome back to the podcast on the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I'm Brother Frederick Kaiser.
I'm Deacon Brian Coe. How you doing?
And today we're going to cover the first section of the Catechism, numbers 26 to 49, which in a nutshell speak about how we can see God in the world around us.
But there's a problem here because you don't just walk around the corner and bump into God. You're more likely to bump into your representative from Congress than bump into God.
True, it's not like we can see God walking down the street, but you can see his fingerprints that he leaves behind in the things that he makes. Like one example of this could be like the moon. You know, God made the moon, and that's...
Right, but what would life on Earth be like without the moon?
Well, actually, there probably wouldn't be life on Earth at all if it wasn't for the moon. See, the moon actually keeps the tilt of the Earth, the axis of the Earth, at a tilt, so that we actually have seasons. And without seasons, plants wouldn't grow. They would just grow their lifetime and then die. They wouldn't come back. And then there wouldn't be any life.
We'd all be meat eaters.
Exactly. And then eventually we would all end up dying. Also, the moon is actually, you know why the moon has so many craters? You've seen that? If you've seen pictures of the moon up close, or even if you just look at it at night, you can see these dark spots. Just with the naked eye, you can also see them.
I thought that had something to do with Neil Armstrong.
No, those are actually craters, huge craters that have been created by asteroids that instead of hitting the Earth, hit the moon. So the moon acts as a shield that protects the Earth from all these asteroids. Now, obviously, some of them do hit the Earth, but so much less because of the moon. The moon acts as a shield.
Imagine life on the Earth without the moon. I mean, no werewolf stories.
There wouldn't be any tides in the ocean.
Ooh. No tides, no surfing.
There also wouldn't be a moon to land on. We would have never landed on the moon.
Yeah, imagine JFK saying, "We choose to go to Mars in this decade, then do the other things."
In other words, the moon is made with wisdom and love.
It's like what Psalm 8 said. "O Lord, how awesome is your name through all the earth. I see your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you set in place." Cool.
So what we're getting at here is that if you look close enough at something, you can find that it is made with wisdom and love.
You know, it's funny. When I was getting ready for this podcast, I was walking around looking for examples of things that are made with wisdom and love, and I bumped into a priest. Walked by a priest who, he's into sundials and astronomy and growing cactuses and things like that. I hear him saying, and that's a good example of rationality in creation. I said, wow, I need to hear this conversation. So, without being too obtrusive, I tried to kind of circle in and listen to what they were saying, but I didn't catch it. So in the end, I had to walk up to him and say, "Hey, Father, what was that great example of rationality in creation you were talking about?" And he looks at me and he just goes, "It's all over the place. So look at the flowers, there's trees over here, birds over there. I mean, come on, Earth of Deacon Brian, right?"
There are examples all over the place, even in things like the way that mothers love their children, or if you're a musician, you know that the way that notes harmonize is also an amazing thing, and you can find God's wisdom and love in that too.
Yeah, or just sunsets. I mean, how many people waste so many man-hours sitting on the beach writing poetry as the sun goes down? I mean, that's just the sun doing its thing, but...
Or like boxing.
Boxing,
yeah. Like St. Paul, he actually found God and spiritual life through example of boxing as well.
Okay.
You can really find it anywhere at all.
Well, now that you go to the Bible, I mean, yeah, actually, Jesus did the same thing. Fishing nets, vineyards, weddings, mustard.
Everything,
shepherds.
all these things became an opportunity for him to come closer to his Father and also to explain how his Father was present in all of these things through his parables.
Yeah, and made him think of God. So in the end, this is the point. If you make a habit of looking for the traces of God's wisdom and love in things, you will become more like Jesus.
And that, in a nutshell, is the first way that the Catechism tells us that we can come to know God. And next week, we'll see the second way of the Catechism.
Stay tuned.
See you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye. God bless you. Pope Benedict is inviting all Catholics to dive into the Catechism because the Catechism teaches us how to live the faith, and so it's the perfect sort of activity to